We had a very, very important game last night between the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, where the Rams are starting to hit their stride, as many would say, where you want to hit your stride in December going into January, and hopefully you're at a point in the season where you are making the playoffs. And the Los Angeles Rams are doing just that. They are healthy at the right time. Unfortunately, the team that they took on last night, their divisional rival, last year's NFC representative in the Super Bowl, the San Francisco 49ers, are hobbling into the fourth quarter of this 2024 season. And it showed in last night's performance. So much to discuss about this game. And I know we're going to get into the actions by one specific player later in the conversation. But I want to start off with how good are the Los Angeles Rams. We touched on it on Tuesday night show after that huge victory they had last week against Buffalo. Could they turn around on a short week, go up to San Francisco? Even though San Francisco's hobbled, it's still the 49ers. You knew you was going to have a tough game. How surprised or how impressed were you with Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams offense going up against a rejuvenated San Francisco defense with the comeback of Greenlaw?
I'm going to be honest, I really wasn't impressed with Stafford, man. I mean, as you know, last night was doing a whole bunch of raining, so both of the quarterbacks, they had a lackluster performance last night. As you can see, Dreau was upset because Cooper Kupp didn't get him no points, I guess. But this came down to defense and who had the ability to run the game. I mean, run the ball. And so in this particular game, you go look at the stats, the Rams was able to run the ball. And they was able to play defense, put pressure on Brock Purdy, forcing him to throw an interception, plus he was sacked 3 times. So it just goes to show if they have to get into these type of games that defense that we said that the Rams might be hurting with because Aaron Donald retired, they actually they was the better of the two defenses. Even with Greenlaw coming back last night, they still looked like the better of the two defenses. To be honest, the 49ers, Stafford gave them many opportunities. Them jokers just think they dropped about 3-4 interceptions. He was throwing the ball directly to these cats. I mean, hitting them in between the numbers. And you know what they say? It's a reason why some people on the defensive side of the ball and not on the offensive side of the ball.
Speaking of defense, right? So let us focus in and dial in on the San Francisco 49ers defense. And me mentioning in the opening with the return of Greenlaw after suffering a torn Achilles in the Super Bowl in a non-contact injury. And last night was his first game back. So the emotional rise that the defense played with kept a team in the Los Angeles Rams who hung 44 just 5 short days ago against a very tough, very good Buffalo Bills team to minimum amount of offensive success. As you mentioned, Matthew Stafford did not have a very good game. He was trying to keep San Francisco not only in the game, but give them the opportunity to win the game, but they weren't doing their job on defense. Other than Greenlaw, who had the emotional rise, who had the tackles in the first couple of quarters, the second half kind of took a turn for, well, this is just a perfect example of how our season is going to end up. Where you had Greenlaw's replacement, I'm not going to even mention the brother's name, refused to play simply because his feelings were hurt. This is a veteran making a career-ending decision by refusing to play in a game that, one, your team needs to survive in the playoffs or to make the playoffs. Now they're pretty much done. They can really pack it up and pack it in because the season is in the same situation as Troy's Raiders. Finished. We're preparing for April. We are preparing for the draft and whether or not we're going to actually have a head coach who is still going to be the head coach next year. Kyle Shanahan has completely lost control of his team, in my opinion, to where you're allowing the emotions of a particular player to dictate how your team looks at the rest of the season. You heard it in the interviews last night after the game, right? When asked about him and his actions, right? everybody's saying it was unbecoming. Everybody's saying it was unprofessional, and you just don't quit on your team like that. But what does it say about the culture of the 49ers in this season? Have we just allowed the injuries to take over our way of thinking?
I just think, man, it started to show the true color of people when they losing. See, when people winning, they don't have no issues with some of the problems. It's when teams start to lose that you start to see the true color of certain players come out, the true identity of some of these guys. And, you know, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And last night could have easily been a learning thing, but, you know, ego. And for whatever reason, and I don't want to bash this generation, but this generation, man, a lot of them, when stuff ain't going their way or they ain't getting the ball, man, they feelings get hurt or whatever. So it's just another one of those signs of when a team losing that's used to winning, you start to see really how good that team is. And it might be time to make some major moves. I mean, Shanahan been there for a while, and so it might be time to shake the bag up a little bit and change some things up.
Yeah, funny that you bring that up, right? You talking about possible coaching changes. Dallas and San Francisco literally are in the same boat. Possible coaching changes. You have all of the talent on both of those teams. It just hasn't worked out in 2024 as it did in 2023 for each one of those teams. And then Troy made the comment or asked the question in the chat, am I back to firing coaches? Well, Troy, you and I know, and everybody that is an NFL fan knows that December is the holiday month. December is the holiday season. And it is also the firing season in the NFL. So coaches are going to get fired. So, yeah, your coach might not be there. I got it. Antonio Pierce did a phenomenal job as the interim when he was the interim and then that first year afterwards. But I would have to have the conversation as to whether or not he is the guy to take us going forward when we bring Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward into the organization next year. And is he the guy to lead that young quarterback and to ensure that that young quarterback is surrounded by a team that is not going to ruin that young quarterback? And he has seemed to be the guy, but we shall see. Same for Kyle Shanahan. You know, he's been in San Francisco forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to address that one question that Troy asked as far as is Brock Purdy worth the $40 million a year? And I mean, or whatever, you know, they probably be offering him on this contract. And I'm just going to say point blank period, yes. You have to take into consideration of what Brock got going on with him right now, as far as he got a lot of key injuries going on or whatever. But the way this kid did perform when he was considered to be Mr. Irrelevant, in my eyes, whatever is going to be offered to him next year, I think he's more than where he earned it. Because he ain't supposed to be here based off what a lot of people thought when he first got into the league.
Right, because Brock Purdy has been in the league 3 years. You forget the first year he took the San Francisco 49ers away from Trey Lance, away from Jimmy Garoppolo, and led them to Sam Darnold, and led them to the NFC title game before getting hurt in that title game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then guess what? That was his rookie year. His sophomore season, when you have that usual sophomore slump, he not only repeated that same type of effort, but took the San Francisco 49ers to the game and played a phenomenal game, losing in overtime to the Chiefs. So, yes, Brock Purdy shall receive $50 million a year at a minimum, being that is the growing rate for the young class of quarterbacks. Jordan Love got it last year. Lamar Jackson got it several years ago. Jalen Hurts got it, you know. And so, of course, Brock Purdy, Tua got it. That same, you know, $50 to $55 million. Joe Burrow got it. Josh Allen got it. So, yeah, Brock Purdy getting ready to receive at least $52 to $55 million a year as a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, regardless of whether or not Kyle Shanahan is there or not. But their season is done. So I would really consider putting Brock Purdy on IR to ensure that he does not further injury or further injure that shoulder that he tweaked in the game on Thursday night. Enough about the 49ers, man. They're done. The Rams gonna make some noise. I still believe in the fact or believe that the Rams will come back and be the NFC West representative in the playoffs. But we'll have further discussions on that later on tonight and later on in these next few weeks.